going to head back to Los Angeles, where defendant Gareth Pursehouse was found guilty of first-degree murder of lying in wait and burglary. The jury deliberated for over 7 hours before finding him guilty on those 2 counts. Remember, Gareth Pursehouse was on trial for the death of his ex-girlfriend, Amie Harwick. She was found on the ground beneath the 3rd-story balcony of her home back in February 2020. She later died at the hospital from her injuries. Now let's take a listen to the verdict that was read in the courtroom.
Superior Court of the State of California, County of Los Angeles, Department 107, case number BA 485-380, people of the State of California versus Gareth Pursehouse. As to count 1, we the jury the above entitled action finding defendant Gareth Pursehouse guilty of the crime of murder in the 1st degree in violation of Penal Code Section 187 subsection A crime as charged in count 1 of the information. We further find the allegation that Gareth Pursehouse intentionally killed Amie Harwick by means of lying in wait within the meaning of Penal Code Section 190.2 subsection A subsection 15 to be true. Dated September 28, 2023, juror number 1 foreperson. To count 2, we the jury the above entitled action find the defendant Gareth Pursehouse guilty of the crime of burglary in the 1st degree in violation of Penal Code Section 459, a crime as charged in count 2 of the information. We further find the allegation that a person was present in the residence during the commission of the burglary to be true. Dated September 28, 2023, juror number 1 foreperson. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are these your verdicts? So say you one, so say you all. Yes. Thank you.
All right, guilty on all counts. I have with me Miguel Custodio and Catherine Lizardo. Catherine, I'll start with you. This crime actually occurred February 15th, but it started February 14th. What's the significance of that date?
It's very significant because we know that Pursehouse wanted to really kill Amie on the 14th, except that she came home at 1 p.m. on February 15th, 1 a.m. on February 15th. And also the day before February 14th, she actually texted Drew Carey. Drew Carey, I feel so bad for him here too. He's one of the victims here because he was the former fiance of Amie. They were engaged in 2018. And the day before Valentine's Day, Amie texted him to get back together, and they supposedly agreed to meet up. But of course, that never happened because she was murdered by Pursehouse. Drew Carey started a petition called Justice for Amie to change domestic violence laws because this is a domestic violence issue.
It is, and I'm glad you mentioned that for our viewers. Miguel, I think that this guilty verdict obviously is the correct verdict based on the evidence, but it took over 7 hours. What do you think they were thinking about behind those closed doors? We talked about it earlier, but what are your thoughts about that?
My thoughts are that it probably took 7 hours too long. It was the verdict that came back at 7 hours and 35 minutes. It's a little baffling to see, to understand why it would have taken so long. And honestly, in trials, that's part of the issues with any trial, right? A lot of times you think you, as a trial attorney, have everything lined up just for the jury to make the logical decision, and it doesn't happen that way. And it doesn't happen that way a lot of times. And here, obviously they made the right decision, but it did take a long time. And so it leaves us wondering, what were they really questioning? Everything was against the defendant here.
Right, I agree. But, they came to the right decision based on all the evidence we saw. Miguel, Catherine, thank you so much for breaking down the cases with us. For our viewers, please stay tuned for our continuing coverage on law and crime. We will have everything you need to see right here on our network.